the diving officer who authorizes the first mine deployment from IRIN Yunus, a Yono-class midget submarine operating on battery power in the central Persian Gulf at 2:11 local, has been preparing for this mission for 22 days. His mission is systematic. Lay 40 SADAF-type bottom influence mines across a 16 nautical mile corridor in the eastern Gulf, in water between 30 and 45 meters deep, on the routing that USS Boxer transits every 48 hours on her way between 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain and her operating area to the east. 40 mines, 16 nautical miles, a Wasp-class amphibious warfare ship making 16 knots. The mathematics of the operation, as the diving officer has calculated them, are favorable. The Yono-class Midget Submarine is a serious platform for this mission category. Displacing only 130 tons, she is the smallest operational submarine in the IRIN inventory and the hardest to detect by the sensor architectures that were designed to find larger boats. Her diesel-electric propulsion produces a radiated noise signature that challenges the detection algorithms of hull-mounted sonars, tuned for Soviet-era and Chinese threat profiles. She carries no torpedoes on this mission. Her after section has been reconfigured as a mine dispensing system capable of deploying 10 mines per sortie, requiring 4 sorties over 4 consecutive nights to complete the field. The diving officer has completed 2 sorties. He has 20 mines in the water. He is on his 3rd sortie, deploying mines 11 through 20, working from south to north across the corridor. The vulnerability is real, and it concerns USS Boxer directly. USS Boxer, LHD-4, a Wasp-class amphibious warfare ship, has been running a transit pattern between Bahrain and her eastern operating area that has remained consistent for 31 consecutive days. The pattern is not classified. The timing varies by a few hours each cycle, but the routing through the Central Gulf Channel at 16 knots has been observable from commercial maritime traffic data for a month. The diving officer has the pattern. He has the routing. He has positioned the minefield to maximize lethality against a deep draft vessel transiting at speed through a predictable corridor. The vulnerability opens tomorrow at approximately 600 local, when Boxer is scheduled to begin her transit through the area where the minefield is being constructed. Tomorrow is 9 hours away. 18 mines are in the water. 2 more go in during this sortie. The diving officer has 2 more sorties planned, nights 4 and 5, to complete the field. He does not need the field to be complete tomorrow. He needs enough mines in the correct positions to create an engagement geometry that a deep draft vessel at transit speed cannot navigate around. He does not know about USS Devastator. USS Devastator, MCM-6, an Avenger-class mine countermeasures ship, has been operating in the Central Gulf since 400 local 2 nights ago, running a systematic mine hunting survey of exactly the corridor the diving officer is mining. Devastator was tasked to this survey not because U.S. Navy intelligence specifically identified the Yono-class sortie. The first sortie's mine deployment was not detected in real time, but because signals intelligence flagged an anomalous communications pattern from the IRIN Midget Submarine, base at Bandar Abbas, on day 1 of the operation. The flag was not specific. It indicated elevated operational communications consistent with a submarine departure, but the classification confidence was only moderate. 5th Fleet responded to a moderate confidence flag with a mine hunting survey of the most likely employment corridors, which is standard operational procedure when IRIN midget submarine activity is detected in elevated operational status. The survey is systematic. The AN/AQS-14 mine hunting sonar deployed from Devastator's 2 SH-60B derivative mine-sweeping helicopters, call signs Sweep 1 and Sweep 2, has been running a lawnmower pattern across the corridor since 400 local 2 nights ago. By the beginning of the diving officer's 3rd sortie, Sweep 1 and Sweep 2 have identified and marked 19 of the 20 mines that the Yono has already deployed, 19 of 20. The 20th is in a bottom feature, a shallow depression in the Gulf floor that has temporarily obscured its magnetic signature from the AN/AQS-14's detection algorithm. The 20th mine will be identified on the next sweep pass in approximately 4 hours, when Sweep 2's track brings the sensor over the depression from a different angle that will resolve the signature. The diving officer does not know any of this. He is deploying Mine 21 when Sweep 1's track intersects his operating area at 0241 local. The intersection is not a collision. Sweep 1 is at 200 feet altitude, running its sonar towfish at 80 feet below the surface. The Yono is at 18 meters depth, running at 4 knots on battery power with her magnetic signature suppression system active. From Sweep 1's perspective, the intersection produces an anomalous return on the AQS-14, a contact that is not consistent with the bottom geology of this specific grid square, is not consistent with the mine signatures that have been identified and cataloged in this corridor, and is consistent in size and shape with a small underwater vehicle. The contact is logged at 2:41:14 local. The crew of Sweep 1 classifies it as a possible submarine or large underwater vehicle, confidence low to moderate, and reports to Devastator's commanding officer. The Devastator's commanding officer has been on the bridge since 1:30 local. He has 19 mines marked in the corridor. He now has a possible submarine contact in the area where those mines were deployed. The two data points together produce a classification confidence that is considerably higher than either data point alone. He reports to 5th Fleet at 0243 local. He requests surface and aviation support for a datum search. He also requests that USS Boxer's transit be postponed pending clearance of the corridor. Boxer's transit is postponed at 2:47 local. Her commanding officer, informed by 5th Fleet, acknowledges and comes to a holding pattern east of Bahrain. He does not know the specific reason for the postponement. He knows it is mine-related, which is sufficient. He goes to general quarters. The mine threat is one of the scenarios that Boxer's crew drills regularly, and the drill routine produces the same professional competence as the drill. Boxer holds. She waits. At 2:51 local, USS Hurricane, PC-3, a Cyclone-class patrol craft operating in the Central Gulf as surface screen for Devastator's mine hunting operations, receives the datum from Devastator and begins a search pattern around the Sweep 1 contact position. Hurricane's hull-mounted sonar is not optimized for midget submarine detection. The Cyclone class was designed for coastal patrol, not ASW, but her sonar can maintain the surface picture, and her wake creates a surface disturbance that will be detectable from the Yono's passive hydrophones, which will tell the diving officer that a surface vessel is searching his operating area. At the same time, a P-8A Poseidon from the Maritime Patrol Detachment at Bahrain is airborne at 0249 local and inbound to the datum area. The P-8A's AN/A PS-137 surface search radar and its acoustic sensor processing capability are optimized for exactly this search problem. Its transit time to the datum is 11 minutes. The diving officer becomes aware of Hurricane's presence at 2:54 local. His passive hydrophones detect the patrol craft's propulsion signature. He does not know about the P-8A inbound. He does not know that Sweep 1 has a possible contact on him. He knows that a surface vessel is operating in his area in a search pattern that is not consistent with routine transit traffic. He stops his mine deployment. He goes to silent running. All non-essential systems secured, propulsion reduced to minimum steerage. The Yono is now as quiet as she gets. She is still in 18 meters of water in a corridor that 3 surface vessels and a P-8A are about to search. The P-8A arrives at the datum at 300 local and immediately begins a sonobuoy deployment pattern based on the Sweep 1 contact position and the Yono's probable movement in the 9 minutes since initial detection. The sonobuoy pattern is a 3 nautical mile barrier centered on the datum, with buoy spacing designed to detect a contact moving at 4 knots or less. The Yono running at minimum steerage of approximately 2 knots, is within this barrier. The first sonobuoy that detects a possible contact reports at 0304 local. The contact is faint. The Yono's magnetic signature suppression system and her low-speed operation are doing exactly what they were designed to do, reducing her detectability to near minimum levels. But near minimum is not zero, and the P-8A's acoustic processing system is not the hull-mounted sonar of a surface ship. It is an airborne system with wide aperture hydrophone arrays designed specifically for the low-frequency, low-amplitude signatures that quiet diesel-electric submarines produce. The classification takes 41 seconds. Possible submarine. Confidence, moderate. Moderate confidence is enough for the P-8A commander to drop 2 more sonobuoys in a triangulation pattern around the contact. At 0307 local, 3 sonobuoys are processing the same acoustic environment from 3 slightly different positions. The triangulation produces a contact position estimate with a 200-meter uncertainty radius. Confidence updates to high. The diving officer knows at 307 local that he has been detected. His passive hydrophones are registering multiple sonobuoy hydrophone signatures. The specific acoustic frequency of a sonobuoy's hydrophone transducer is distinguishable from ambient noise once you know what to listen for, and the Yono's crew knows what to listen for. He has 2 options: attempt to evade and escape, or surface under the circumstances that minimize the tactical consequences of surfacing. He has 20 minutes of battery endurance remaining at minimum steerage. He cannot evade for 20 minutes against 3 sonobuoys and an inbound surface screen and remain submerged. He surfaces at 0309 local, approximately 1.4 nautical miles from Devastator's current position, and transmits on the International Maritime Distress Frequency, identifying himself as an Iranian naval vessel and requesting safe passage under the rules of naval engagement governing non-hostile surface contact. The Yono surfacing is observed simultaneously by Hurricane's lookouts and by the P-8A's surface search radar. The contact position is disseminated to all units. Devastator's commanding officer notes the surfacing. He notes that the surfaced Yono is 1.4 nautical miles from his ship, and that the mine-hunting sonar deployed from his helicopters is between his ship and the surface submarine. He takes no kinetic action. He reports to 5th Fleet. The Yono sits on the surface at 0311, local, 1.4 nautical miles from a U.S. mine countermeasures ship that has just spent 2 days finding and marking the mines she deployed, surrounded by a P-8A, 2 mine-hunting helicopters, and a Cyclone-class patrol craft. She has 4 mines aboard that she did not deploy. She has not received orders to do anything other than surface and request safe passage. The request is noted. She is not boarded. She is not fired upon. She is observed in continuous detail by every platform in the vicinity, which is itself a form of engagement that produces intelligence at a rate the diving officer cannot stop. The FLIR systems of Sweep 1, Sweep 2, and the P-8A are recording the Yono in continuous detail from 3 angles simultaneously. The Yono-class has been photographed before. Iranian exercises, port visits, the specific geometry of the Bandar Abbas Midget Submarine facility, but a surfaced Yono at 1.4 nautical miles at 0311 local in operational configuration, with her mine deployment system visible in the aft section and the crew on deck during the surface emergency, is a collection opportunity that the imagery intelligence community has never had at this range under these conditions. What is visible from the P-8A's electro-optical system at 1.4 nautical miles in the early morning light beginning to gray the Gulf horizon is the following: the after section's modified configuration for mine deployment, including the specific geometry of the mine dispensing mechanism that has not been observable from satellite imagery, because the system is housed below the waterline when the submarine is at rest in port. The dispensing mechanism geometry, the width of the deployment tube, the spacing of the guide rails, the positioning of the pressure compensation system is now in the imagery library with a resolution that allows the engineers who design mine countermeasure systems to update their assessment of the SADAF mine's deployment parameters. The Yono's mine deployment system has just furnished the U.S. mine countermeasures community with a technical improvement to their engagement planning data. At 3:47 local, the Yono receives orders from Bandar Abbas and begins a transit toward Iranian territorial waters on the surface. She is not intercepted. She is followed at a respectful distance by Hurricane, whose surface search radar maintains the contact until the Yono crosses into the 12 nautical mile territorial sea. Hurricane logs the transit track, speed, and heading. The transit track is compared against the Yono's departure routing from Bandar Abbas, which was tracked by the original Signals Intelligence Collection event. The comparison produces a complete operational route profile for the Yono-class in the Central Gulf. Departure routing, operating area, surfacing position, return routing. The route profile goes into the IRIN Midget Submarine database as an operationally derived data point rather than a planning estimate. At 4:15 local, USS Devastator has returned to her mine hunting survey. The 20 mines marked over the past 2 nights, plus the specific locations where the Yono's third sortie was conducting deployment before the diving officer stopped, provide a complete picture of the minefield's current state and its intended expansion geometry. Devastator's commanding officer and his crew can now reconstruct the minefield's intended final configuration, the 16 nautical mile corridor coverage that the diving officer was building. From the combination of the mines already deployed and the direction and position of the third sortie's interrupted work, the reconstruction identifies 3 areas in the corridor where the minefield is densest and where a deep draft vessel transiting at speed would face the highest risk. The reconstruction also identifies the minefield's gaps, areas that the Yono had not yet mined, where the mine density is insufficient to guarantee engagement against a vessel navigating carefully. These are the areas through which Boxer's alternate routing will be threaded, after Devastator completes its neutralization of the 20 deployed mines. The mine neutralization operation runs from 4:15 local to 11:47 local. Each of the 20 mines is approached by Devastator's AN/SLQ 48 mine neutralization vehicle, an unmanned underwater vehicle that approaches the mine, places a small shaped charge against the mine's casing, and retreats to a safe distance before the charge functions. The neutralization is systematic and methodical. Mine 1 is neutralized at 4:38 local. Mine 20 is neutralized at 11:31 local. The operation generates 20 separate acoustic signatures from the shaped charge functions, each of which is recorded by the P-8A's sonobuoy array still on station overhead. The acoustic signature of a SADAF mine neutralization event, the shaped charge detonation, the mine's case response, the pressure wave in the shallow Gulf water, has never been recorded in an operational context at this sensor geometry before. The recording is in the Mine Warfare Acoustic Library by 1400 local. The 20th mine, the one in the bottom depression that had temporarily obscured its magnetic signature, is identified at 7:22 locale when Sweep 2's next track brings the AQS-14 over the depression at the planned approach angle. The mine is marked, approached by the MNV, and neutralized at 11:47 local. All 20 mines accounted for. 0 mines active in the corridor. USS Boxer resumes her transit at 12:30 local. She transits the cleared corridor at 16 knots on her planned routing. She is preceded by Devastator running a final confirmation sweep on the cleared route and by Sweep 1 operating ahead of Devastator. The final confirmation sweep identifies no additional mines. The corridor is clear. Boxer completes her transit to the eastern operating area at 16:14 local. The transit log entry notes the postponement, the mine hunting operation, and the resumption of transit. The entry is factual, specific, and unexcited. It reads like what it is: a documented diversion around a hazard that was identified and removed before it became an incident. The intelligence product from the operation covers 4 categories that the mine warfare, acoustic intelligence, imagery intelligence, and signals intelligence communities will each process independently and then cross-reference. The mine field geometry, 20 mines marked, their positions logged to GPS precision, their spacing and depth settings characterized from the MNV's approach photography, produces the most complete operational assessment of SADAF-type mine employment doctrine ever compiled. The spacing data confirms an Iranian employment pattern that had previously been estimated from doctrine documents and assessed from test event observations. The SADAF is deployed in a staggered depth pattern with 200-meter spacing, optimized for maximum coverage against deep draft vessels making 15 knots or more. The confirmation of this pattern at operational precision means that future mine hunting operations can pre-compute the most probable mine positions within a surveyed corridor once the first mine is identified, significantly reducing survey time. The efficiency improvement will be incorporated into the mine hunting doctrine update. The Yono-class mine deployment system imagery, recorded from 3 angles simultaneously at close range, produces an engineering assessment that improves the accuracy of the classified technical assessment of the SADAF mine's deployment mechanism. The geometry of the deployment tube is now known to within centimeters from the P-8A's electro-optical imagery. This data will allow the Naval Explosive Ordnance Disposal community to update their assessment of the SADAF's handling parameters, which informs the safe approach geometry for the MNV in future neutralization operations. The operational route profile for the Yono-class in the Central Gulf: departure routing, operating area, surfacing position, return routing, is a complete navigational picture that has never before been assembled from operational data. The route uses specific depth contours and bottom features to minimize the Yono's detectability from surface search radar during transit. The specific depth contours and bottom features she used are now annotated on the operational charts. Future Yono-class sorties in the Central Gulf will be easier to locate because her crew has provided a map of where she prefers to operate. The 20 SADAF neutralization acoustic signatures, recorded at precise sensor geometry, constitute the mine warfare acoustic library's most complete operational data set for this mine type. The signatures will be used to calibrate the detection thresholds for future mine hunting sonar systems and to validate the analytical models used to predict SADAF emplacement from acoustic bottom survey data. The cost accounting for this operation has an unusual structure. Devastator's mine hunting operations over 5 nights, vessel operating costs, helicopter flight hours for Sweep 1 and Sweep 2, MNV operations for 20 neutralizations, P-8A flight hours for the datum search and corridor surveillance. Total approximately $1.4 million. The delay to Boxer's transit adds approximately $180,000 in additional operational costs from the extended holding pattern and the rerouting coordination. Total U.S. operational cost attributable to the IRIN mine operation: approximately $1.58 million. The Yono-class's 4 operational sorties, 3 completed, 1 interrupted, consumed fuel, crew time, and battery cycles that represent approximately $90,000 in direct operational costs. The 20 SADAF mines, at an estimated production cost of $35,000 each, represent $700,000 in Iranian material that is now in 20 pieces at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Total Iranian material and operational investment in this operation: approximately $790,000. The exchange ratio is approximately 2 to 1 against the U.S. in direct costs. Against the intelligence product, the Mine Employment Doctrine confirmation, the Yono deployment system imagery, the operational route profile, the acoustic library update. There is no ratio to calculate. These are intelligence products whose value is measured in the operational improvements they produce over the next several years of mine countermeasures operations. The diving officer returns to Bandar Abbas at 6:30 local the following morning. He has 4 mines aboard that were never deployed. He has a mission report to write. The mission report will describe a mine-laying operation that was interrupted by U.S. mine countermeasures activity, the decision to surface and request safe passage, and the transit back to port. The report will go to the IRIN command authority that authorized the operation. The command authority will assess the result and determine whether to authorize a follow-on operation. The follow-on operation, if authorized, will be planned without the knowledge that the Yono-class operational route profile is now in the U.S. Mine Countermeasures database, without the knowledge that the SADAF employment doctrine has been confirmed to operational precision and incorporated into the mine hunting doctrine update, without the knowledge that the Yono's mine deployment system geometry is in the imagery library and has improved the MNV's safe approach parameters for future neutralization operations. The follow-on operation will believe it is beginning fresh. It is not beginning fresh. Bye for now.